Welcome back. All right, let's get back into it. We do talk about their music a little bit more, just a little bit more. I highly recommend that you get out and check out some of the music. I'm really digging Can't Believe. And let's jump in.
What brought you all together and what keeps you all together?
Gio.
What brought us all together?
Tell our story.
Oh,
I love the banana as the seat filler. Like that needs to be like at the Academy Awards and the Emmys now. Like just have a banana.
I wanted to be like, oh my God. Like Ander just merged with the banana.
Oh, man.
I love that it's like what keeps you together, and then he left.
Yeah.
What brought us together is a simple fact would be the music. I think Andrew's been my best friend since high school. Tanis is his brother, so that I guess that they're forced to be together. So yeah, it all started in high school.
Are they?
A little bit. He had the drums, I had the vocals, and some guitar skills, and we just started jamming, and we fell in love with the music. And we wanted to make a band, so we did. Called it Drive Through Milk first, then became Banana Chant because Drive Through Milk was lame, I thought. Then we just took a chance and we said, you know what, we want to make a record. So then we started making our first record, and Tanis hopped in and helped us a lot. And Papa Grumps, which is our producer / dad, gave us a very, very beautiful path to success on making that album. So a couple like a year after, I met Vanessa at work. I used to be a host at a restaurant. She was a busser, and showed her our music. She really liked it. She said she played bass, quote unquote. And then we brought her in. She knew a couple notes, but we liked her a lot, and she just glued with us. She grew as a bass player, and she's probably like one of the best bass players I know now. And that's basically a small, short, simple story about all that. It all revolved around the music. And what keeps us together, I think, is also still the music. and the friendship, honestly, the friendship and the love we have for each other really keeps us together. Because we're like brothers and sisters. We fight a lot, but we do it for a good reason. We have an end goal. You know, the goal is always making the best music we can with us and no one else. You know, and that's kind of hard right now because as I've learned throughout the music industry, you cannot do it alone. And I believe we still need to be open-minded of other people helping us out in production and all that. But slowly but surely, I'll start gluing them because we like just making our music, just the four of us. But I truly believe that having some help of someone who has experience in producing, or in another band, or maybe just a simple musician just hearing our songs and just giving thoughts would help a lot for us to grow and make better music.
Does anybody have anything they want to add to that? Because I have a question, but I don't want to change from this because that was good. Anybody want to add? Or subtract?
I mean, you picked up the mic there, Vanessa. You look like you had something to say.
Say something. You were stroking Chant like you were.
I was going to say that beneath the music, you know, we are all like friends at the end of the day. We go out and we have dinner and lunch, and we go like we do things that are outside of the studio.
Breakfast. We don't do breakfast.
We don't do breakfast, but we do lunch and dinner. And I just
this is one of the latest interviews we've done. Actually, we don't do breakfast. That's funny.
At the end of the day, though, it really is for the music, because I wouldn't be putting this much effort into other people unless I saw something of value out of it, which is the music. I don't have time to just hang out with my friends and eat dinner and lunch. Breakfast I can do, but these other two, I can't just be doing that all the time as much as we play. We come here to record, and that's the best part of it. When we finish recording, we hang out because we're friends. It's not like we're recording from the moment it starts, which we should do, so we can hang out when we're 30 like crazy. But the reality is, what brings us together is the music. Gio was my best friend. Outside of
Not anymore.
making music, yeah.
Past tense. Business.
Past tense.
Let me rephrase
Not
that.
anymore.
Business.
Gio was my friend. Now he's my best friend. But we don't hang out like friends anymore. It's just the studio, it's the music, it's to advance our future because we don't have time to just chill. You know, my brother. He's not my brother anymore. He's our guitarist.
Yeah. No, it's interesting too, because like Rodney and I are best friends. We've been friends for 19 years. And as this thing is picked up and we just get busier and busier, we
don't
used
talk.
When you guys hang out, do you still find yourselves asking other people questions like together?
when we're together, it is a dynamic.
Do you
This
refrain?
is, I mean, so that's like, it's a natural dynamic that happened before the podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's,
Yeah.
and it's actually, it's calmer now. I am like an engineer. Like I just want to know how shit works. And that
I'm a
rubs people the wrong way
psychologist,
when I go
and
in
I wanna know
hard
how
on
people
like,
work.
but I would go in hard with like a lot of questions and people are like, yeah, I'm just feeling like depressed. I don't really want to answer 1,700 questions right now. So stop. And so now it's gotten to be a little bit more balanced, but I like that question.
I have the psychology background and I just want to know how people work. So it gets a little intense when it's like, okay, I sometimes need to dial
People
it
are like,
back.
I feel like I'm on the couch right now.
Yeah,
Like, chill out,
it
bro.
happens. It happens a lot.
So I want to pivot. I want to pivot and talk specifically about a track. However, I can't, like, you guys are just giving so much good stuff. I can't quite get there yet. So I want to talk about like there was this track of like, it's not about the money. It's about the music, but at the same time, like you're getting streams, you're getting views, you're getting eyeballs, TikToks popping, like things are happening. And as you're putting these tracks out, I mean, I hear it, I'm sure you hear it, and you have the vision, you have the goal, the dream, like y'all are good. Like, and you want to be in people's eardrums. So how do you ever struggle with the balance of it's not about the money, but the money is an indicator of how successful we are and how well we're progressing with the thing that we want to do, even though it sounds from some of your answers like that's not the most important thing, but it is important. Like, how do y'all, and I think there's different answers on the team, but like, how do y'all feel about that?
I'm fascinated about this one.
I can tell you one thing. I honestly can tell you one thing. And my journey,
Only one.
my journey through the industry, and I've learned this one thing: if you don't have the bag, chances are you're probably not going to make it. That is the honest, bloody truth when it comes to trap rap and all that kind of poppy kind of thing. But if you have the talent and if you work your ass off, 9-to-5 job, and just somehow have a budget, your chances of making it increases. But if you have the bag, it's not that hard. There's people out there that are really bad, but make so much money from songs because they put so much money into marketing and a team and a label session, a label, a manager, and it's crazy. But good for them, no hate in this world. That's great that they're succeeding. I'm not going to hate because of that, but that's just the honest truth. Money makes it easier, but that doesn't mean it's going to last. Just because you blew up doesn't mean you're going to be remembered, and that's the goal. We want to be legends. We want to be legends. We want to be good.
First, yeah.
A type of good that in 30 years, if you hear our shit, you still will bang to it.
Ooh, that ages
Banana
well.
Man,
It still slaps.
It's still a banger.
All of the money we've made from shows, from having the tip jar out front and people tossing in $5 bills, 100 if they're nice. I don't think that's happened yet, though.
That has happened.
I thought it was a
It
20.
was your uncle, wasn't it?
Okay, we got. All right.
He's paying, man.
It was sure.
Dude wrote a check and put it in the piggy bank, the banana bank.
Hey.
So all of that goes into fueling our careers further in Banana Chant. All the merchandise sales, that's all going to go into dishing out a crazy music video that goes out to equipment, that goes out to making our shows better, because at the end of the day, that's what we want to do. So, of course, you need money to make money. But when it comes to the music, paying off student loans, in my heart, I thought this can change the world. Granted, it changed maybe a couple houses in Hialeah, but but I love it and I am so proud of it. I don't get that feedback that I was expecting. I wanted, million views on YouTube. We have 1,000. I get more views on TikTok when I show my dad guessing video game logos. It's a little disappointing because I put way more effort into the music, but that's not what music is about. I made it and I am so proud of it. And if other people hear it, that's good for them. But I know like I'm fulfilled after doing that. And now the next thing we can do is just keep making more. And then there comes this very lopsided thing where the money's everything and all that. And honestly, yeah, it is, but it's all about connections. It's who you know. It's who you know as well. That's probably the most important thing, is who you know. Because now if we were making a music video 2 years ago, and I'm not trying to hype myself up, but if we were trying to make a music video 2 years ago, you can watch it on YouTube. Actually, you can see Tiwily and White Lies. The more we grew, the more connection we had. Then you can see what Bluu is. Now this next video that we're gonna have, the amount of people that I've met, videographers, TikTokers, influencers, musicians, all these people that are willing to help us, and people who are in the same boat, upcoming artists, are willing to help us because they see it. It's really a privilege to have that, because the connections I've made now can help the band, and the connections that these guys probably made throughout the years as a band too. All these friends we've made, all these fans we've made, we encountered. These all people can help us now and support us. So I think that's the biggest thing, is these connections we made throughout the years.
I think we have a little bit of a division of labor. That doesn't really work too well. A lot of us are good at different things. Not only do we all play different instruments, but we also have different skills outside of those instruments. When you look at TikTok, you'll see Andrew's face immediately on every single one. I mean, this guy's a TikTok mogul. And I don't have that that finesse that he does on social media. Gio's got the connections. He just talked about them. He knows people. I mean, you need something, you go to Gio because he knows a guy.
Honestly, yeah. Name one thing
I got
you
a
need.
business partner like that.
Yeah, I try to focus the majority of my attention in the band into the recording and our practice, because I think that is definitely where my skill set lies, like kind of orchestrating and arranging a piece of music that we can either record or play live. I think I do that better than I do anything else. So we have this division here of what we're good at, what we should strive for. And the reality is that some of these things bring more revenue than other things. Some of them bring arguably none, right? If I spend my time thinking about how we're going to practice better so that we play live better, we sound better when we play live, that in reality, that kind of brings no money. But if Andrew spends his time getting millions of TikTok views and then we get ads on those, that brings in money, right? Gio finds people that we can play music, that brings in a certain amount of money in a way. And sometimes it goes to our heads. Sometimes I feel like in the practice room, I am God. Listen to me, do what I say. But then when we leave the room and Andrew says, post this on social media now, he's the God of that space. But that's not the case. Yeah.
You need someone to go away. Just tell Gio and I can get someone.
Guy, right?
I know a guy.
And the reason why that everything I'm saying doesn't really have a conclusion is because we don't really have that solved yet. This is an ongoing, not issue, but an ongoing journey that we have between each other, like finding out what we're good at and how to divide all these things that we have to do as a band. Because there's more than just the music, right? There's merch, and then there's social media, and there's all these things. And it would be awesome if we could all put in 25% of everything. But the reality is, it never happens. And part of it is because some of us aren't as good at it, but also part of it is because some of us don't put the effort into that section. But I don't have a conclusion for this. It's something we're working on, something that we are trying to fix. And it's interesting.
What's Vanessa's skill set? What's your strongest skill set, B?
She plays the bass.
Talking. Okay. I think
I'm the talker.
I bring balance. I'm the only girl in the band. I think I bring a different perspective as a female. And also, I have a lot of creativity. I feel like I'm a very out of the box person, and I like to do things that aren't supposed to be done, like things that haven't been done before. I think, once in a while when I do put my head into it, I can come up with a good idea for something. Well, it's mostly for music because that is my strong suit. Music flows in me, as that cheesy as that sounds. I am willing to put in the effort for social media. I'm not good at it. I am working on my persona and what I want to show on the media, because it's very hard to be 100% yourself and know that there's a lot of people watching you, and that pressure kind of stops me a little from being super social media. But I'm not like against it. I just want to learn more about how to please the people and get more fans and stuff like that, if that makes sense.
At the end of the day, right now, it's basically we're split on these two, really focusing a lot on the music aspect, and that's what they provide for the band. They play our songs, and then me and Gio, we carry the weight of the business aspect, because Banana Chant isn't just a band, and we're trying to build it into a family, an organization, something that people can get behind. Because you can listen to the music, but who's behind the music? That's why this podcast is great, because people are going to learn who we are outside of just the music. So we're all putting in we're all putting in effort to become people outside of just Banana Chant. Who is Banana Chant?
There's the going back to the original question, that balance of wanting to just do the thing, but then wanting to do that thing for real, which then requires more money. So then there's that slippery slope of the thing becoming about the money, and then all of a sudden no one wants to do the thing anymore. But that's what drives us to do it, and we struggle with it. Like it is not an easy answer, and I respect.
There's also the realities that Gio kind of brought in. Like you could be subpar at the thing if you have enough money. Like there's weird layers to it. But if you care about the craft, if you care about the thing, then it's this long journey. And I think Keith and I were talking to somebody, we're talking to a podcast the other day, and it's like, that's kind of this division of labor you're talking about, Tanis, is kind of our superpower. It's the thing that we would encourage other entrepreneurs to, and you guys are entrepreneurs, to embrace, because I look at solo entrepreneurs or solopreneur, whatever they call themselves now, as like, that's the hardest job on the planet, because you got to do it all. And like, there are days I wake up and I want nothing to do with social. I hate checking email. Like, I want nothing to do. Thank God I have Keith that's on the email, because like nothing would get done. But like, so that division of labor has become this thing that we embrace. And it's just like,
listen,
this is how we move.
On that, like, we fought it for a while. Because, there is that desire. I feel everything that you said, Tanis, because I'm our operations guy. Rodney is the one that gets our guests. Rodney is the one that promotes our social media. He's the one, like,
they don't feel
not
equal.
Here. Yeah, if Rodney's not here, we don't exist. But then if I'm not here, I know we don't exist, because shit would just not get done and would fall apart. But we used to resist those divisions, because like, I want to do more of this thing and Rodney wants to do more of this thing. And then we eventually accepted our own roles and our own strengths, knowing the balance with it, because then we can invest our entirety into the things that we're good at and that we enjoy, and then let the other person do their thing. And Rodney just effortlessly connects with people. Like, it's the only reason we got some of the guests that we've gotten on this show. And that's just not my skill set. So it's definitely a struggle, and I feel that struggle. And it's great to hear that you're at least working through that, because it's an important thing, and you'll thrive once you all roll in that direction.
There is something to be said about finding that perfect imbalance, or like you said, it doesn't feel equal, and it probably isn't. If you get down to the brass tacks of it, but as long as things are getting done and it works for you, then do it. That's how most things work. Not everything is done the right way. Some things are done the wrong way, but the end result is right. So, if you the operations guy, then We got Rodney as the social guy. If that works, if it feels like the perfect imbalance, then send it.
Your music in general, it does have deep meaning. It is based on some intense life experiences. As you describe, as you describe floating as haunting, and your music at the same time has a relaxing sense to it. Like, whose story is that? Like, where do these stories come from? As floating is about addiction, and there's a lot of meat within your music.
I think the best way to bring you guys into how we, as a unit, feel about this, our songs, is to talk about how we wrote them, how they came to be, how they came from nothing to something. Being that we're all musicians, everything starts off with the music. And the first thing that we have when we have a new song, usually the first thing is some kind of chord progression, some kind of guitar. There's a lick, or there's a riff, there's a hook, there's a progression, something that sounds cool that we want to use to build the song. Start off, say we have that guitar, and then we have somebody who plays bass. Luckily, Vanessa plays bass, and she hears something in that original musical piece, right? And she plays something. She adds her own essence to that. Then we get to the drums, and Andrew has his own essence. And then the cherry on top is Gio giving all that meaning, right? Because the music itself, it has emotion, but having those lyrics to back it up, having those lyrics to lead, not back it up, to lead the music somewhere, is truly a beautiful thing. I think we all start off, listening to the music without the lyrics first to see what are we telling? Just musically, what are we telling? And then, the lyrics come from that. And Gio, what an amazing wordsmith, honestly. What an amazing songwriter, because he writes things I could never even imagine. Melodies I could never come up with. And I love whenever I come up with some guitar riff or something floating came out of my guitar. And then it turned into this beautiful, beautiful story about isolation. At this perfect time, we're all isolated during this pandemic. And honestly, I'm just impressed about how these three build off of something I bring, or sometimes I build off things that, they bring. It goes both ways.
That I was guessing it was the other way around. I thought it would be the song first. So that's super interesting.
Actually,
so it's almost like each.
Yeah. Most of the time, or all the time, the music comes first, and it just comes out of me sometimes where he plays a riff, Andrew plays a beat, she plays a bass, and I just start singing. I just start saying words.
Half the time they're not even words.
Yeah.
You're adding. Really, is it just are you just humming along, coming up with the melody?
I'm just mumbling. That's how it starts, mumbling.
Milky Way.
You're a mumble rapper. I get it. You're a mumble rapper.
You find that melody, and then you write to it.
Milky Way came from Gio. We were all jamming, and then Gio was just incoherently rambling, coming up with some flows, and then I played it back because we recorded this practice, and I heard hold up, is he saying something? And it kind of sounded like, so you pretend? I'm like, what? That you were walking with a man? And then it turns into a story. Yeah. So you got to be able to speak Gio.
Wow.
Definitely.
But that's the process. So would it be fair to say that you adding the melody and the lyrics is telling the story of the music? When you guys hear the lyrics, do you feel like it's oh yeah, that's what we're saying?
I write what's going on, and these guys paint the picture of what's going on, basically. Or most of the times they paint the picture, and it's like a very, very blurred picture. Something's happening there, so then I just structure it and see what's going on. With floating, I got inspired by a book I was reading. It was The Heroin Diaries by Nikki Sixx, and his journey through his heroin addiction. And that's how I started writing about floating. Floating's actually, they don't like saying it, but I like saying it because it's the truth. The floating's actually about addiction. But they wanted to change it to isolation. Just say isolation. I'm like, fine. Because we were in a pandemic and all that. It's whatever you want it to be. True. But yeah, I got inspired by that book. So I I felt like I was looking through Nikki Sixx's eyes back in the 80s when he was dealing with his drug addiction and how terrible it was for the band and his life and all that and what he went through. And he came out such a powerful human being after that, attacking that addiction and winning. And that's how I wrote Floating. I started just came out of me.
There's probably some synergy there between isolation and addiction. Like the whole, you can come anytime you want, but you can never leave. Like there's this.
Yeah.
I love that.
So Gio starts writing them, starts mumbling them, like, starts, speaking in tongues, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And that's where I was going with that. Like, do you all contribute to the lyrics in any way? Or is it like...
I would say that recently in the new songs that we are recording, me and Gio do sit side to side and push in ideas. So he does let me take a little of the harmonies and just some ideas for lyrics. So yeah. The rest of the band, they kind of stick to their instruments, I would say. Not really on the lyric side, but I would like to say that I would like to, be a part of the songwriting process as well, because it's fun and beautiful. And
the harmonies, I heard your voice in a couple of, at least one track for sure.
Floating.
They're put in there a little sparsely.
So this is all news to us.
It sounded like an announcement. Just
want you guys to know I am now writing the songs.
We have
wait. Go ahead, Andrew. Go ahead.
Our fans, whenever Vanessa sings, they just throw their panties on the stage. I don't know what happens.
I'm a panty dropper.
Everyone loves her. They love her voice. They love the interplay with Gio. So moving forward, we want to incorporate her in most of our songs, if not all of them. A harmony here and there. Yeah, vocally, she's still going to play bass. But as far as writing songs goes, lately, and for the end of time, it has come from Gio. If I write a little bit of a verse, I'm like, hey, try this. In like Limbo, I helped him write the chorus. Vanessa, she helped come up with the chorus in Can't Believe.
We all put her.
Yeah, she puts in a lot of input in harmonies and stuff. But at the end of the day, we need to give credit where it's due, and it comes from Gio. What we do is we approve or reject. We tell him, we ask him like, what the heck do you mean? What is it? What are you saying? And then if we're like, okay, we like it, then we proofread it. We try to make it sound as grammatically correct as possible. Oh yeah, the most important thing. He writes 70 verses, one chorus, one pre-chorus, and
no bridge ever.
Oh, and no bridge. No, but he has 80 verses. And it's funny because the verses don't end. So you hear an intro and then Gio starts talking and he doesn't stop until the end of the song. So it's good because as a writing tutor, I tell him you'd rather have more writing and then cut than have less and need. So a lot of the time what we do is we just tell them like, oh, how about you say this here? We move that there. We do this there. But the writing, it comes from Gio's heart and soul and his hands.
Yeah. So Andrew, you kind of mentioned Can't Believe there, and you kind of talked about the whole like, Gio, what the hell does this mean? So I listened to Can't Believe probably 10 times. I think I have an idea of what some of it means, but I would love to hear from the actual writer and or what you guys believe it means, and then he can fact check it. Like, is that actually true?
Before he reveals what it means, I just want to say I have absolutely no idea, but I like what I'm listening to. I like the harmonies.
Yes.
I like that he's not singing over everything, and catchy tune.
Oh, there's some beautiful guitar riffs.
But what does it mean, buddy?
You can't.
There's some beautiful wordplay in there with the whole "Can't Believe," and it's just like,
we probably won't.
Yeah, you won't believe it when you understand it.
Nice.
Can't Believe.
I see what you're doing there.
So yeah. Can't Believe. It started out my mentor was actually helping me with this song because I'm like one day I'm like I have to go, I have to write the song or the band's gonna be really mad if I don't have anything. And he's like, well, why don't I help you out? And that was really because this guy has written a lot of songs that you guys probably know. I'm not gonna spoil it or say his name, but he's a legend. So when he said that, I was really grateful. So he helped me with this song actually. Helped me like so I was in the booth and he's like, Gio, just give me a story. Just Gio, tell me a story right now. Tell me a story. What do you see? What do you hear? I'm like, I see a girl who can't believe that this dude did something, and he's like, sing it. I'm like, and then that's where I started writing. So one thing's for sure, I need a cure because I'm so sick of my heart dragging on the floor. So. So the song mainly is about this couple that they're just struggling, and the guy's like, you know what, if you don't want to fix this, or if you want to play like that, I'm done with you. You're like, I know I fucked up, but who gives a damn? Let's just be together. That kind of stuff. And it's just like that. It's like a back and forth kind of thing. It's a toxic relationship, but they just can't let go of each other. The girl wants to be with someone else. The guy has been with everyone else, and it's just like, and it's funny. All of this most of the songs that I write has nothing to do with me. I just love writing stories. Maybe the first album, was just me talking about how high school sucked, and this girl didn't like me. Yeah, the balloon room, or I forgot. I even forgot. It's been so long since high school.
But if you need to remember, just listen to the record.
Listen to the record. Yeah, it's a lot of heartbreak songs. But then when we started doing the new songs and paying off student loans, I just started creating music. I started creating a story. I'd never been to purgatory, I just wrote about it. I never picked up a girl from a bar as deaf and she was a ghost.
He's been in a committed relationship.
I've been in a committed relationship for 3 years.
Yeah.
So I just like, I just want to write it. I want to live through these stories that I'm writing. So I just start writing. So that's what Can't Believe's about.
Does Vanessa in this song play the role of the girl?
I don't really have any like.
She does. Do you harmonize in this? There's a small part where I thought I heard your voice. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 100%. This is the most she's been in the song.
Yeah.
In one of our songs, and I really enjoy it because she killed it.
It's very creative. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Well,
We did a lot of
sounds good.
cool musical.
I'm glad I got it right. Like I thought it was about a relationship, so I feel good about that. I feel good about myself.
It's actually about sailing to America, Christopher Columbus. So if you didn't have that subtle undertone,
can't
then I don't
believe
think
it.
you're gonna
Believe America.
Vanessa, you had something. Vanessa,
But then I actually haven't told you guys what the real story about Can't Believe was about. I just like saying this. This is a big breakthrough. I actually got inspired of the story. You guys seen the music video Dancing by Jason Derulo?
Yes.
The Let Me Take You Dancing.
But that's
where
I'll look it up.
That song's amazing, but it had the music has nothing to do with the song. I'm talking about the story they had in the music video of Jason Derulo trying to dance with this girl, but she's not really want to. She's kind of seducing him, and that sparked the idea of Can't Believe, because I really love that video and the music is great. So I'm like, wow, this story's cool. I watched the music video like tons of times, and I just clicked, and that's where I started writing the story of I Can't Believe. That's the cool. real reason of how that really came up and just sparked the idea in my mind.
Nice.
Vanessa, you had something.
Vanessa, what were you gonna say?
I think I was gonna say something around the lines that this song, to me, when I first heard Gio sing us the lyrics, because I remember one day we were here in the studio and he said, I have a song. And I was like, all right, sing it. Like, just sing us the lyrics, like no music or anything, sing us the story. Because I like to hear the lyrics separately and then the music, because that's how I can create what I think the music should sound like, in a sense. So he sang it to me and us, and I was like, wow, this is a song that single people or like newly heartbroken people or people in toxic relationships will be singing as a feel-good moment to realize that, hey, like, I don't need you to give me all of these problems. I'm just trying to be happy. Like, let's go to Miami, have a great time. This is the beautifulest city in the world. And you know what? Like, fuck you. Go take your problems elsewhere. I'm just trying to be a feel-good person. Yeah, and have a good time. And the bass line and the guitar riff and the drums just make that impact 10 times better and adds his music. And it just makes, literally, this song is, I think, one of the coolest projects I've ever been a part of. And that's hard because paying off student loans is honestly the best album. I don't know. We will top it, but it's hard to top something that we all put so much time and effort and all of our inspiration into. So yeah, I'm just.
It's a very, very good album. You will top it though, because you're just gonna keep progressing.
Of course.
So
of course.
we're getting real close to time here, and I want to be respectful to it. So first, I want to say thank you and for joining us.
Y'all are dope.
Y'all are dope. You have done a 4-person interview well. Give you kudos. You have good presence, and you share the mic equally.
You share the stage well.
I have to ask a quick question. Where can everybody find you?
Instagram, Facebook, on our page. bananachant.com is our website. We have merch. That's where we have our music. YouTube, Banana Chant. Basically, you just write Banana Chant on Google, we're gonna pop out.
Sure.
Definitely.
Banana Chant Google. So I want to.
Yeah.
All right. We will also link that. And the last question, I'm going to give it to all of you. Take a couple seconds on it. I know we're rubbing up on time, but it's really an important one to us because it's something that we think that we know can heal the world. And the question is, what does compassion mean to you? We'll start with, you know what? We're going to do this opposite. We're going to start with Tanis this time and work our way down to Gio.
What does compassion mean to me?
Yeah.
Correct.
Great idea starting with me, guys.
I'm going to say that compassion is when you can put yourself in someone else's shoes and truly not be selfish and give them still the respect and love that they want, depending on the situation. It's very hard to be selfless with other people because we are inherently selfish humans. I think compassion is being able to not be selfish and put yourself in other people's perspective, because that's really hard. No one else is like you or your brain or your past. It takes a lot to try to put yourself into that situation that you've never lived. I feel that's my answer.
Gio?
Sacrifice. It's all about sacrifice. I'm a big dude of sacrifice. It's the hardest thing you can do as a person is to sacrifice something you enjoy, love, or really passionate about for others.
I got held up not because I wanted to go last, but because I don't use compassion very much in my daily vocabulary. But I just thought, like, what words like it that I do use? And I use empathy a lot. And I guess I got hung up because I never say compassion. I always say empathy. And I think empathy, to me, is about just feeling what other people are feeling, or at least understanding what other people are feeling, and putting yourselves in other people's shoes. I think whenever I hear about shitty situations, like the building falling in Miami Beach, like a little while ago, I felt like shit, and I had nothing to do about it. I felt like shit for a little bit. I was, obviously detached from it. Luckily, I was not part of that tragedy. Whenever I hear about things like that, like things that I have nothing to do with, something that I'm not about, but it just sucks for other people, I feel bad. Maybe that's me patting myself on the back. Hey, I'm a good person. I feel bad for these people, but I think the reality is that I feel like it fucking sucks when shit like that happens to you. And I think if everybody felt bad, like when I felt bad, I guess, I would feel their empathy. I'm jumping on my own words here.
Can I help you?
Yeah.
It's realizing that we're not alone and that our actions affect other people, and just being able to acknowledge that and realizing that, we're all just trying to work together and having that compassion to care about one another, and just existing on a planet that revolves with that other people live on, that revolves around not just you, but the people you care about. Vin Diesel taught me that it's all about family. And it's about empathy. It's about sacrifice. It's about relating to other people and putting on their clothing. But, that's what life is about. You don't wake up alone. You don't die alone. So let's have a good time over here.